Okay, we're back here and we are now back to tackle the problem with the Cat 304, the intermittent click no start, which is something that I've had a few issues with in the past. There's a few separate videos of how I've tackled that, but the problem seems to be coming back. So it's time to fix it once and for all. So I've got this kind of stripped down a little bit. All the internals in here, all the internal panels and that, they've all been pulled out. That was simply because I was needing to get into here to actually change the belt for the aircon unit, which is way down in there. So that's been done. Whilst I had it stripped down, I decided it was time to do an oil change as well. So we've got an oil and filter change that's happened. Well, let me show you about the click no start issue. So I've had an intermittent problem on this excavator for many years. Put the switch into ignition, you can hear everything clicking, the fuel pump going, you see the glow plugs light up and then go out. And obviously it started that time, but I guarantee you there are times when this thing will not start. So what I've done in the past, you've got to take the seat out that sits here, take these two back panels out, and there's also the second part of the aircon pipe there, take that out, and then way back in here you can see the starter motor down there, and you see the red wires, the live wires. Now what I've done in the past, I've taken a wire and I've jumpered between the large diameter wire that you can see there. I've pulled that sheath back, I've pulled the sheath back off this, and then just down here, which you can hardly see but I can see it, it's the head of a bolt that actually has this wire connected to it. So I've jumpered between there and there, quick touch, and it's been enough to do it with a screwdriver, quick touch and the starter motor fires up. So to try and get a little bit of a better option of jump starting, what I've been doing in the past is I've had this wire connected into the positive battery terminal, looping in through the window, and then coming into the cab, and I've just had the end of it protected like so. If I've needed to start the excavator and a click no start fault's been occurring, so I've simply exposed the wire, brought up my junction box or connection terminal there, and jump started this way. Now if you do jump start that way, you actually can't turn the engine off. So you've got to go into here, push the kill switch. So as you can imagine, that's not a great long-term solution. It means I can't have the seat in here because those two panels need to be open. I need to be able to connect to this wire joiner. Now as you can see there, the reason the wire joiner's there is because we've had multiple issues with this in the past. There was that wire there at the far end to the left that was actually shorting out, and that was causing a lot of fuses to blow. So multiple issues in the past. So what I have done in the past is I've swapped out the key switch. Doesn't seem to make any difference. Apart from now I need two keys. For some weird reason the old key doesn't work with the new switch. And in here what I've also done, somewhere in the back down here there's a relay which I've swapped out in the past. Again, doesn't seem to have made, we can see that, sorry, that's it there, that relay just there. Swapped that one out in the past, doesn't seem to have made any difference. So today we're going to go for that temporary permanent solution. So my plan is to have this little push start button, momentary engage button I think it's called. I'm going to mount that here, so when I do the ignition, if when I turn the key it doesn't start, I can just leave the ignition on and I'll do the push start and the engine should then fire up. On the back of this key switch there's a 12 volt positive, and then there's a 12 volt that's latched once you turn the key to the ignition point. So I'm going to take a feed off that 12 volt positive, feed it into my new switch that's coming in here, and then a wire out of that switch going down. I'll feed it through here and somehow connect back up in here. I'll have to protect it as I close those panels. I'm not going to bother drilling holes in, I'll just actually kind of squish the cable gently, protect that. This permanently wired into this termination block. Right, let us make a start. Let's have a little look at what we've actually got here. So I've got the earth wire of a multimeter going back to earth. The key's in the off position. On a touch there, 12.68. No volts, and no volts. So when I turn the key to the first position, still got 10.9, so it's dropping, so there's obviously power being drawn from there. Now I've got 12 volts on this one, which I didn't have before, and I've got no volts on this one. And if I turn the key, so that one is switched for the ignition, this one is switched for the first stage of the key, which actually sort of powers up the motor. So what I need to do, I need to come off this one and run a wire from this one to the starter motor. So when the key is in the first position, I'll be able to press the button. I'll be able to press this, start the motor, and it'll carry on running because the key will be in the first position. Right, let's try and run a wire from here down through and to the starter motor. Okay, first thing, better go kill the power. So we just killed the power by removing the negative terminal. Right, we'll connect those. As we say, that switch then should be dead if the key's in the off position. I like that bit of exposed wire there. I think I'll run a little bit of heat shrink onto that. And a little bit of heat shrink just over that termination there. Just squish that down. Perfecto. Okay, so now we have a wire that when I turn the key to the first position has got juice in it. Okay, what we'll do now is we'll now connect that end of the wire to the switch. I'll drill a hole in here for the switch to fit in. Onto the switch, cut the wire coming out of there down to the starter motor. Bob's your uncle and Fanny's your aunt. Right, let's get the hole drilled and get all this terminated. Right, so I don't have the electric drill with me today, so we've gone bodget style. So we've got a hole saw there, and or a stepped hole saw and a ratchet. So I'm going to slowly work my way through this, get a bigger hole. I'll bring you guys back once I'm done. Right, there we go. Right, let's run some wires to it. Bring you guys back in a minute. Okay, we've got this now all wired up. So as you can see, we have a wire coming out into our momentary switch or a push button switch, and then another wire coming back out, and the end of that wire is here. Right, so we'll now set up a little test just to make sure that things are wired correctly. Okay, so hopefully you can see the numbers on the multimeter. Right, so the key's off, so we have 12 volts there, nothing there, which was the terminal that gets switched with the ignition, and we have nothing there, which is the terminal which is turned on with the first click of the key. So now when I oh, and obviously we got nothing here as well. So now when I turn the key on to the first click, you can hear the beep and you can hear the fuel pump and everything running. So we've still got 12 volts there. We now have 12 volts at that point. So now we have 12 volts running to the switch, in and out of the switch. We have nothing here. And if I push the switch, we should see 12 volts. There we go, 12 volts. Right. Okay, so what that's telling us now is we've got this wired correctly. So what I need to do now is pull this lot back together, feed the wire through here, in and out. I'll show you that once I'm done. It's not going to be easy to record, so I'll just show you it once I'm finished. Right, we have the wire in here, protected with a little bit of flexi conduit. Comes out down here, so that's the flexi conduit. Get rid of that piece, that's a bit of scrap. So what we have is our flexi conduit there, and that'll sit there when the panels close in. It'll be a bit of a squish, but it should be protected. And then my new wire joins in here, three-way connection there. So when I push the start button, we should get that starter motor jumping into action. Right, let's do the ultimate test. We got lights. Let's pretend well, let's just try it. Well, as you say, it proves me wrong every time I have the camera going. Trust me, click don't start it's a thing. So what I should be able to do now is push the button, and we should see the starter motor start. Like normal, just got to now go back and press the off button from there. If you think there's easy ways of wiring this, that starter motor is a pig of a thing to try and get to. So it's at the back there, it's in the middle here, it's at the bottom there, and when you look from underneath, that's it. And you can see one connection bolt, which is about here. The other one you can just see from the top, but you can't touch it. I would dread trying to remove it, but hopefully my little push start button is going to prevent me ever having to replace that. So I think what's clear, there's some issue between the key and that starter motor, because as you say, when we bypass all the electronics that's behind that panel there, down by the battery, the relays and all the rest of it, when you bypass all of that, you can get it to start every single time. Right, all that's left for me to do now is tidy all this up, put the panels back, put the seat back, put all the other panels on the outside back, and then I think I need to go and grab some stuff. Let's go grab some logs and go dig some dirt. Right, that's it from me. Problem solved. Okay, and there she is, all put back together, and we even got a seat. Right, let's give it a test and let's go put it to work. Dang you, machine! Intermittent faults will drive you crazy.